Hello and welcome to Supcom FA Alliance. We're in Eye of the Storm. This is one of the games that was left on the thread. Big thanks. I'm going to try to go back to the thread, see which ones I haven't casted, just so people have an incentive to post the replays they want casted there. Also, probably the easiest way for me if you post a replay ID in the comment section in any of the videos. That's also easy. If you send me private messages, I will probably lose that. Also some sort of description, of course, know these things. And overall, big thank you for sending me these. You can see these two players are both 1,000 ratings, so we'll have to take a close look to see what we can see here on the build orders. So far, Ho Sausage. Yeah, that's a Ho Sausage with two S's. That's an SS Ho or a, yeah. It's called Sausage. Faney or Fane is the other player. Looks like, yeah, Fane really going after the Hydra. UEF versus Aeon on this map. Arguably, this is the worst faction versus the best faction for this map. Aeon on certain maps, they're just dominant. And this is one of those maps. UEF, I think maybe this is the worst faction for them. But of course, it's at this skill level. We'll see how can they really use the factional advantages. For example, like spirits. And before I forget, I want to mention, I want to keep mentioning this in every single video. Pilot had this great idea of releasing patched versions, or I guess it's going to be a mod, maybe a featured mod or something, where he will take the balance to the original balance when Supreme Commander was released to the vanilla version. And then every month you will go through all the different updates that this game has went through. And I believe by the end of 2014, he's going to take it to what it is today. It's going to be, he calls it a trip down the memory lane. That's maybe what we'll refer it to, or taking you back to the classics, FAF style, of course. However you want to refer to it. I'm going to try to cover it, make it a big event. And anybody who's played this game a long time ago and is afraid to come back because everything's changed, this could be a good opportunity for you to come back. We'll see what the community is like, because really it has changed. It's become much better. But it might be an interesting experience to see just how things have changed. All right, so back to the game. This will be an important mission. I guess some of the comments, this is very unusual. For this, you used to go down instead of across, and both of them are doing it. You can see this ACU for Faney was a bit quicker. Also nice to see Bomber. Do we see any air factories yet? At least one is planned, and Faney building with a single engineer. Now he's gonna, looks like he's gonna correct it here. Nope. Well, that's all right. Nice to see that he's really doing a big power spam. This map is very air intensive, therefore power is critical. So you want build capacity, and okay, this is a power storage. It's a very early power storage. I guess overcharges. He's using it to a certain degree, but typically, is that going to be the first bomb of the game? Successful denies the radar. The only way to make that better would have been to allow Faney to complete that radar, so you would have wasted even more resources. But that's all right. Another bomber for Faney. And what we're seeing, this, oh, that is police once again. The police are once again featured. I'd like to, in the city that I live in, it's a very low crime area. I would like to thank the police force for making it a great place to live. However, sometimes it makes it difficult to do what you want to do, but I still want to thank them. Let's see, looks like somebody's trying to do what they weren't supposed to do. Still a single engineer making this, and a big land spam, which is not what you want to do. This is the worst thing you can do against Aeon, because Aeon can take Auroras and go across water. If you're facing Aeon as UEF, you're probably going to be doing the exact same thing, maybe with only 3 naval factories. If you lose Navy against Aeon here, you're pretty much screwed. You have to win Navy, and really UEF with their Navy would be quite dominant here with the cruiser. As yeah, this was a very nice group of mech marines. One of them still alive with 2 kills. Needs to continue. Don't let that PD be finished. Although a point defense in that position is really bad. I know people like Brink would just say PDs are crazy in general. I'm not as against PDs as Brink. However, I think in this situation, that's pretty crazy. A well-placed PD in choke point can be very annoying, can be very effective. This PD is protecting nothing except this Raider and a mass extractor. This is 240 mass. It takes 120 seconds just to make up the mass back for that. It's really not that effective. 3 kills on this Aurora. Looks like it killed that entire McMarine scout team. ACU's making it to the corners. The middle will be taken by Sausage. And yeah, this right here, if only these factories were producing units, it could be quite dominant. If you're Aeon and you don't want to think, there are certain situations where a faction is so strong on a map, you can stop thinking and just do the overpower strategy. What you do is you just build land factories, make auroras, and then just take map control. You just send them everywhere. Send them in groups like this. This is what Sausage is doing. And just denial mass extractors. You take the mass extractors that you have, then make sure the whole time you have air control, find the ACU and kill them. It's really that easy for Aeon. And of course, the counter to that would be to either take air control or to make a whole bunch of frigates. We can see actually finally, after minute 8, some frigates are coming up. And yeah, both these players, they missed this 300 mass. There's actually 4 of them all over the map. This thing, when I found out about it like 6-7 years ago, pissed me off so much, because I think every single noob goes through this thing on this map. There is actually 300 mass here. It's crazy. Why did they do that? It's kind of historical. So map control is actually fairly even, and you can see that reflected in the mass numbers, dead even between these two players. The fact that the middle is taken is very good for Sausage. If Sausage can deny this position and maybe deny these mass extractors, although he's given up quite a bit, I think here if he pushes it to here, takes all this mass, and both of these players, I'm just seeing rocks everywhere, which is so unusual. Only 600 reclaimed. 1400. This is, I mean, they're not nearly as good anymore, but early on, you got to put them as part of your build order. So many factories. And yeah, units just sitting by. This is so much mass invested. Now, one thing I've noticed some of the best players doing this game is take the move orders and put them into the enemy base. It could be dangerous where you waste units, but if you're thinking of ways to become more aggressive, one of the simplest ways to become more aggressive is to take factory move orders and put them into enemy base. It's actually quite effective. It could completely screw you, but in these situations, I think there's no reason for them to stop. They're just causing a traffic jam. They need to go as far as they can, perhaps to here, maybe not all the way to the enemy base. And we might just see our first engagement. You see both these players. I haven't seen this game, and I don't know how long it goes, but I am seeing a lot of pacifism. And pacifism is not good. Although looks like Artie was brought. They did not finish the job. And another thing, I'm gonna slow this down and I wanna talk about what we're seeing just based on these numbers. Mass to power ratio, it's about a factor of 10, which is actually a rather low ratio. It's enough if you just want to make land or if you want to build units, but as soon as you start doing things like air, that ratio is going to kill you. So both these players are likely, well, Sausage isn't power stalling, but Faney is. But Sausage is close. Oh, and Sausage is about to get a Tech 2 power. But for this type of mass income, to have this low power is very unusual. And I think on this map, the amount of air these two players have is very low. But this Tech 2 power, once it's finished, and as soon as you finish Tech 2 power, there should be triggers going off about your new possibilities. One of the first possibilities is, of course, Tech 2 air, or shields, or ACU upgrades. But simplest thing is air, and if you're not using air in the game, you're doing something wrong on most maps. So as soon as you get that, on this map, getting Tech 2 air and getting gunships can really win control for you. And what am I seeing? I am seeing Faney using power throttle. My advice would be turn that shit off. It is not good because it takes away your control. There are certain mods in this game with the eco, which I really hate, and they're usually for multiplayer where they share. And power throttle can be good in very special situations, but it can, especially when you're learning to play the game, it can really screw you, and I doubt it helps you at all. Yeah, it's totally not helping you. You might think it's making you more efficient, but you want to be the one choosing what pauses and what doesn't. And you want to, one of the critical things in this game is to choose when things get built, and you lose that control. So we'll keep it at +3. It looks like these two people, they really don't want to engage. And they're just building up defenses, although this PD is dead, but Obsidian's now. So if, okay, let's look at this closer. In this battle, I would say, because of the Obsidians and with a little bit of micro against the RD, it should be a simple victory for a Sausage. Maybe not simple, but it would happen. It would leave a lot of dead wrecks. And right after that fight, you got to send a whole bunch of engineers, reclaim it, and you win. On the top, I think the answer is clear because we see it. The Tech 2, the Riptide, is winning. And Riptide on this map is excellent. It's just an awesome unit. Bombers being built up, that's always a good idea against Aeon to have those, but probably want to use them. Total air domination by Faney. It's still Tech 1 air, and this is where you've hit Tech 2 land. Making 1 or 2 Tech 2 flak is definitely good. So, what? Yeah. Faney, tell me you're sending this engineer to reclaim. That engineer is missing out. Yeah, this would be perfect. Under such conditions where you have a total mass stall, anything that you reclaim immediately gets turned into something that you're building. So how would you like an extra 50 income? That's what happens when a Tech 1 engineer reclaims a wreck. You would double your mass income with a single engineer. You would probably lose because it has to walk from wreck to wreck. But and that mass, exactly that -40, you would have perfect economy. Although you might just power stall a little bit. Now the mass is fairly even, but the power is extremely different. We've seen map control shifting toward Faney, and Faney, brave after that victory on the top, might think about attacking the bottom, but on the bottom, that's not nearly as good. This is a scary unit, and I've been traumatized by it a couple times, and also on this map. You don't want to take that on with Tech 1 or even Tech 2. It's just, it's something you want to overcharge. That's really the best way to deal with it. And Sausage with the gun, I think it's not the double gun. This is fairly late, and okay, going into the unknown, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to lead with your units like that. You have no idea what you're attacking, especially with the ACU. You want to build a radar and then attack, or scout and then attack. Of course, you did see a glimpse of Tech 2, probably want to send his ACU back. This is, you can be ignorant to a very scary thing, which might be happening. Let's see, we were going to look at the upgrades, and we saw something else. He has no upgrades. This is it's a stock ACU coming up minute 20. Who didn't even realize? This would have absolutely killed that. It would have been a disaster if Sausage didn't retreat, and he wouldn't have even known. But this is one of the reasons to be aggressive if you're Faney. And Faney, he's got a couple of radar units, some snoops. Looks like that Obsidian went in blind. Got absolutely demolished. Oh, and no, big things happening. Okay, let's check out the micro. You can see how these forces, what Faney did here. He gave a move order over here. And what happened, his force all broke apart. They're all just charging. And they're not really working as a team. What you want, the way you want to attack is you want to hold down Control or Alt. So you either do an attack move order or a group move order. You can even hold them both together. And in this case, you probably, under these circumstances, not assault with these Tech 1 units, but begin to assault with some arty and some long range to soften this up. Also, you had like a whole bunch of bombers. If you would have sent 6 bombers to different spots on this, you would have wiped out most of this force and then move in. That would have been much better. Instead, what you've done is you went in and lost a bunch of units. And actually left a couple of really juicy wrecks. Yeah, and very nice. Both these players, even though they're 1,000, they are doing some things very right. And one thing, I'm seeing engineers up on the front line immediately, that it just makes you extremely strong in this game if you do that. Yeah, I'm always a promoter of reclaim 5,300, 5,400. A bit low, but it's happening. Only 3,400 for Faney, and he could really use that reclaim. And there's some reclaim in the water here, but he's got some engineers here as well. If people are wondering what's the best attack move or patrol, it really depends on the situation. Good thing about attack moves is that they stop and become idle when you're done. There are a bunch of idle engineers. No, they're not idle. It's just in the replay there. It's just total. It's interesting that it sees all the engineers as idle in the replay. But this economy, the way your Faney's running his economy, is poised to take a reclaim. Once again, another assault, and some naval help too. These provide nice anti-air plus fake images and a little bit of radar. But you can see how this pillar and all these units, they're all alone against a superior firing force. So if you were to look at how much damage each of these players can do, this right here is basically a dead zone for all the blue because of all the focused fire, because they're so much more concentrated. Just sort of going into these streams. Oh, nice. Deck 2. Obsidian drop. That's brutal. Yep. So this is almost like one of Brink's Another One Bites the Dust series. Oh, jeez. That's a brave... This is like Canadian assault during World War II. I hope not. This is going to be a little more brutal. This is ballsy. It should not have worked. That radar, is that thing going to fly away? And the key is, and there are some questions here. If you do something like this, you pull this off, it's pretty cool. What do you want to target? So targeting the Hydra is pretty good. Here you probably want to run away from this. This PD is going to get finished. Although you could probably focus fire it with 3 obsidians and kill it. But once it gets finished, you probably want to run away. In this situation with obsidian, you want to get away from the PD. You could probably kill a couple of these Tech 2 Mask Tractors. These Tech 2 Mask Tractors would be good targets. Also, if you were to scout and realize that Faney has low power, although it's not really affecting him too much, you could target all these pigeons, but you would want to spread the fire a little bit between the obsidians. And these obsidians are so strong, I think they might survive. Yeah. Alright. Did that transport survive? It's one of the reasons I wanted to slow this down. Yeah, but it came back home, which is critical. It means this reclaim is going to go for sausage. Looks like that PD wasn't focused fired. Also some RD. RD is a really good way to counter drops, because a lot of times people drop their units off, forget to move them around or give them a single order, they stop. The RD kills them. Yeah, stationary targets are always good targets for RD and easily countered. This is just a big battlefield that needs to be reclaimed. Reclamation numbers 5,800, 7,500. Rather low. Let's go fast again. Another thing, when you're fighting air, you want to, or any kind of fights, you want to know why you're doing that battle. Why are you killing units? I mean, it's cool just to kill units, I guess, but why did you do it? For example, killing that transport just out of spite because it did that thing to you is cool. But flying in here and killing all these transports, you've actually left the reclaim back at the enemy base, and a good player would just pick that up and build a new one. it would waste their power or a little build capacity. It's not a big deal. But you've also lost a bunch of inties flying over flak, and assuming if there was another air fight, if you're going to have a big air fight, you would have had an air fight over enemy territory and just peppered the ground with a reclaim. It's a gift, even if you win. But in this situation, it was so dominant, it's still kind of pointless from Faney. So when you're that dominant in air, you have to be producing tech-to-air or bombers, and it looks like tech-to-air is started. Of course, for tech-to-air, you're going to need power, and if you had a little more mass, you'd be power stalling. Oh, man. One thing we are seeing, though, is Navy is now Tech-2. We're seeing Tech-2 subs. Tech-2 subs against UEF, always a good idea. Some blazes. And this battle, we're now 24 minutes in, is rather peaceful once again. Also, not too much upgrading. I think about 10 minutes ago, the numbers were very similar. So once these two players upgraded their core Tech-2 mask structures, haven't really upgraded much since. And especially in peaceful battles like this, upgrades are very good. It's one way you can easily win. Also, this Tech-2 stage is very long. I think if they did some upgrading, they could have gone to Tech-3. But now this destroyer, what is this destroyer going to do? It's only really going to face Tech-1. It's got very powerful torpedoes, so subs are going to die easily. If it targets the... Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other ships here. The UEF is dead. Tech-to-air now from Faney. How's Tech-to-air from Sausage as well? Swift wins are a possibility, but not a lot of support build capacity. The power is way in Sausage's favor. He can definitely afford in terms of power, but look at that mass stall. Faney, look at that mass stall. Oh, there's plenty of mass if you just want to take it. And shields now for Faney. Oh, now he's really going to power. I guess you can't power stall if you have no mass. So actually the effect of doing more reclaiming from Faney would be to kill these shields. And that's why he's not reclaiming. He wants to protect his ACU. However, this Tech-2 destroyer already got 15 kills. It's forcing Faney to make units which are not very good. Tech-2 Arty. Okay, that means I have to say +4. Not a lot of attacking options here. Just a big standoff. Faney getting that reclaim, is that going to cause him to power stall? I think it did for a second. A lot of mass in the bank. Oh, of course he's not power stalling because he's got the power throttle. Well, I guess that's one reason. But of course, this is why power throttle sucks. Even though it's saving you from the reclaim, you're from power stalling, you're not actually doing good because you're thinking you're producing Tech-to-air and it's part of your strategy, which you're actually not. So you're not executing the strategy that you want to execute, which is making Tech-to-air when you have air control. We also have now a cruiser, which is going to make that Tech-to-air not very effective. And yeah, you're thinking you're producing these units, but you're actually not. You're actually putting everything into these shields. And what's likely happening is Faney, it's not like horrible, but it takes away your ability to quickly execute things. That's another ballsy drop. Yeah, and what is he going to target? It would have been nice if you brought a little flak with him as well. Looks like naval denial now from Sausage. This is really nice from Sausage. It's on this map, if you win Navy, you pretty much win. My question is, why are these ships whole? They should be out there kicking ass. The enemy Navy's dead. I mean, learn from the British. I mean, they conquered the world with Navy. I don't know. Yeah, you can do your whole standoff here. Although, okay, so this is a lot of obsidians. The only way they would lose is if they do a move order here and they don't slow down. And they don't keep moving, because then the UEF already would absolutely shred anything. But if they keep moving around or just move forward, they will kill all these units easily. This is mostly Tech 1. There's like a single mongoose here with 5 kills, which is going to die soon. A couple of riptides. But these Obsidians, as long as they don't fall to Artie, it's game over. Also, tech to flag, please tell me. Yes. But yeah, a couple tech to flag. So yeah, those gunships will not be able to counter. This is a winning force. So multiple ways for Sausage to end the game. To name a few, upgrade, and then get some badass thing. Give a move order to your Obsidians to here and kill everything. Although, yeah, that's a Titan. Obsidian will rape that. Yeah, I guess one way to counter Obsidians is with Percy's. Percy's will kill most things for you. Another way to win the game for Sausage is to, okay, not cruisers. I'm sorry, cruisers are very defensive, and also submarines are very defensive. Build 5 destroyers with a cruiser. Put him here, let him kill everything there. Put 5 destroyers here, let him kill everything there. You're done. It's that easy. But he's choosing to play this with style. And dropping next to Tech 1 PD is not a good idea. Unless you want to kill it. But yeah, these are good drops. So those are the options for Sausage. Just a few options. What are the options for Faney? He's really kind of in a bad situation. He does have Tech 3 land, which is nice. He's got some gunships, which are probably going to die soon. He's decided not to make this Artie, which you really can't do anything for him. He is upgrading. So if he continues to upgrade, and he does have Tech 3 land, one thing to look for when you're looking at a base, when you're scouting a base, so if you're a Sausage, you're scouting a base and you think about how to kill somebody, is to look for where their power is. If you can see that their power, especially when it's in 2 bases, look at the base with power, take that out and you're done. And you can see how vulnerable all this Tech 1 power is. And this whole base should be gone. It's a couple Tech to mass projectors and very weak power. Also where the HQ, this is a valuable HQ to kill. And it looks like a counterattack. Now Titan's moving in. But of course these are the Obsidians. They don't really care. 28 kills, 12 kills. Not a good target. In general, for Aeon destroyers, stationary targets. And looking here, this is a good looking unit. 11. Oh, is this? No, this is just support. Where's the HQ? You can see all these factories. That's redundant mass, not producing anything because Fane can't afford it. But yeah, this HQ. So both HQs are right there. This base is very weak and should be killed. However, on the bottom, this is pretty serious because these Arties, if you, oh no, once again, this is, I mean, I understand that this is never like explained anywhere unless somebody tells you or you've watched this game for a while. But these types of move orders, when they break up your formation, look at that. They really damage you. And most people who've played real-time strategy games from StarCraft, Age of Empires, whatever else you've played, you understand how important formations are. Even in stupid games like Total War where you play with dolls, formations are everything. And of course, when I say stupid, I love the Total War series. I used to play video games. Yeah, very good games. But they're definitely not real-time strategy. 44 kill destroyer. This unit should really have 200 kills by now. And as expected, the Obsidians absolutely dominated the Titans. Titans are good against Tech 1, but in this situation, it should have been Percy's. Good selection of targets from Hot Sausage. That's why he made that name. He wanted me to say Hot Sausage. Is that a Freudian slip? I have no idea. Yeah. Actually, this is interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna call him Hot Sausage from now on. I'm assuming that's a he, but Hot Sausage might necessarily be a he. This is a bit of a disaster. Faney rolling through, and critical thing that Faney needs to do, he needs a new HQ, and he's got plenty of opportunities to make that. And another critical thing that Faney's done, he's made more power. He's got Tech 2 P gens here. He needs to make more power here. And I'm assuming he's making a new HQ. Because that one's going to die. The worst thing he can do is make a support factory. Don't tell me, yeah, it's a new HQ, good call. And this, okay, this is why he posted this game. I understand now. This is now weird. Hot Sausage was made to think that he dominated, which he did, but lack of defense right here. And we have this slow motion base change. And this is the original base, which has a lot of the power. And Hot Sausage has been ahead on power this entire game. And 75% of all the power is right there. And it's going to die for sure. And once that dies, look at what happens to Hot Sausage. Wait. Let's look at this. This is not something that happens often. Not 75% of power. 100% of power for Hot Sausage was here. And this sucks for a number of reasons. Is that to get out of such a situation, you need to rebuild your power. However, your power is being used by so many different units. So to do it, you would need to turn off the shields on all the obsidians. Each one of these takes 10 power. So this game is effectively over in terms of production or intel or shields for Sausage. I think his only option is to take whatever he has and go kill Faney. This is extremely unusual to have this happen. Faney, on the other hand, is in very good shape. He can continue to build. And yeah, I don't know if Sausage will even be able to rebuild here. I'm sure he's attempting to, at least with some engineers here. But is he using a power throttle as well? Okay, this is... Turn that off. The power throttle is pausing the engineer that's trying to make power. And then the engineer gets its thing canceled. It probably pissed you off. So please turn that off. However, things aren't that bad for Sausage. Why? Because he's got so many obsidians, which don't really have their shields anymore. Plus 20 still. Oh my god. And yeah, you want to turn those things off manually. And you can slowly rebuild. However, Faney, of course, has nothing in the water, so he can't hide there. So if he can't survive here against this force, his ACO will be exposed. Is he making Tech 2 transport? Nope. So he won't be able to escape. One good thing for Faney is that Sausage has absolutely no radar. Although it looks like he's got some direct visual. Look at the direct visual on Cruiser. Very nice. And this is so bizarre. Blair, that has absolutely no power, is in a position to win. However, yeah, and Sausage makes the right call and goes into the water where it's very safe for him. Game over. Wow, that was a crazy end. Yeah, hopefully people enjoy this one.